when I was laying on the bed, oh, it was horrible. So I had a new lesion in my spine. My whole body, the feelings get distorted. So I almost couldn't walk. If I wanted to wipe my butt, I couldn't feel it. When I had the double vision, so 5 minutes and then you see double for a minute and then it goes like this. And so, but if you close one eye, you just can read further. So going through the hospital again, got MRIs, and they put me on a gabapentin that really messed my head up. It didn't work. After 2.5 weeks, I said to my girlfriend, I had to stop. My head, everything, I was feeling so strange and not myself and depressed. My life wasn't worth anything, and it's maybe better not to live at all. I had nothing to lose, you know. I had to do something, and I'm so glad I did because yeah, it made the change that I hoped for. So my name is Peter van Nuchteren. I'm 37 years old and I live in the Netherlands. When I was 17 years old, I woke up one day and I was paralyzed on the right side of my body. I got the diagnosis MS, and last year I had a new lesion, and I was really struggling with nerve pains, and I couldn't walk almost, and I didn't know what I had to do. So yeah, if you want to know what I did, check this.
Wow, so this interview is actually a really, really good one with Peter. So it's the first one that I'm going to do. And actually, just before we go forward, if you wouldn't mind, please do hit the subscribe button and do the notifications as well. It's really going to help my channel to grow, so I really, really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get on with the interview. Thank you for watching. Okay, what is your name and how old are you, please?
Yeah, my name is Peter van Nuchteren, and I'm 37 years old.
Excellent. And what health complaints were you struggling with before finding our product range?
Yeah, so I have multiple sclerosis, and yeah, the last couple of years, my walking really gotten worse, and I had a lot of nerve pains in my legs.
Okay, and how long has that affected your life?
I think, yeah, 2.5 years. And prior to that, there were different things, you know. So, but yeah, the nerve pains were really, yeah, very heavy.
Okay, so so how did it all kind of start? What kind of age did it start, and what was the first symptoms? How did it progress? And kind of your history, basically.
Yeah, so when I was 17 years old, I woke up one day and I was paralyzed on the right side of my body. And yeah, through that, they did a lot of tests, and I got the diagnosis MS. And yeah, luckily, with help from my mother and all sort of things, I was very young. So in a couple of months, I was riding my bike again. But yeah, the body is never the same. So yeah, that's how it was. And then the before, yeah, I was at school at the time, so I had to change my school, do other things. I finished my school, then I got working again. So after that I was paralyzed, I think a little 7 years later, then 50 hours of work and then a lot of stress, and then I got a lesion in my right eye, the nerve, so you see blurry, and then all the
What kind of age are you now? Like at that point when you were getting blurry eyes?
25,
Right.
something, so something like 25.
Okay.
And it's like when you have a shoot, they call it, or a lesion, or it's or in the brain or in your spine, then it's an attack from my own immune system, and the body has to restore itself, and it's already always is a couple of months. And then
Right.
hopefully it restores itself, but mostly of the time it gets yeah, it's still a little bit damaged, you know. So first was my right eye, then after months my left eye, then after months double vision, and that's something that really stuck to a couple of months. So every morning I was waking up, and the first thing I did, I was looking up and was looking if I didn't have double vision again. And yeah, so then I knew, oh, it's still there. And after a couple of months, luckily it went away. So yeah,
And that was when you were like about 25 and you're
yeah,
you're in your career. What were
yeah,
you doing as a career?
yeah. I was how do you say it? Yeah, I worked for the cable business.
Okay.
for the internet and all that sort of things at house. And then after that, I was for all the people who were driving through the to the people doing all the connections for the internet and the
Oh, you were
television.
like an internet kind of engineer,
Yeah,
like
but after
traveling
that,
around.
yeah, but after that, I was on the planning. Is that good
Okay, okay,
pronunciation?
yeah, yeah, like
Planning
working,
all the
yeah.
routes for all the how do you say someone who is doing that kind of work?
Well, just doing a desk job. But I mean, the point is, so at first
Mhm.
you were kind of a traveling engineer,
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's it. Engineer. I was
then
looking
you took a
for
more
that.
supervisor position.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So yeah,
but as a traveling engineer, like driving around, that must have been quite scary,
yeah.
if you're having neurological problems.
Yeah, that was after that. So I went to sitting as after the desk and all the routes for the engineers I was planning, and then I got yeah the lesions in my eyes again, and right after that, yeah, I couldn't do my work anymore, and I got in the health, yeah, so I was sick for no, yeah, so I couldn't work. So
Right,
because I
right.
was dependent on the computer, and it cost yeah a lot of yeah, it was very heavy to do my job at
Okay.
that moment. So
Okay. And then a few years later on in life, I believe that you were kind of paralyzed as well.
yeah, no, the paralyzation was when I was 17.
Oh,
So
right. So that was
but
when you're 17. You
yeah, but after that, so because it was coming back, the illness, so it was latent for a couple of years. But because of the stress of work and doing many hours, that was when I was driving still, and then I went to after the computer. Then it came back, and it was in a yeah in a fast train, you know. So it was first that, then that, then that, and then my arm, and so everything was coming back. And at that time, I knew something had to change. So when I was seeing double, I was scanning the internet for some help, what could help me. And at that time, I didn't take any medication because when I was 17, they said you have to do you could do the injections. And yeah, I was so young, so I hope that it
So you
would
took no medications.
not at that moment. Yeah, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
But fast forward to kind of your 30s, right?
yeah,
Just before you discovered our products,
yeah.
what was your life like just before you discovered our products?
Yeah, so I was having pain a lot of the time. Yeah, always when you so when I was walking, then there was pain in my legs, and then when you go to bed, so you have a whole day after you, and then when I was laying on the bed, oh, it was horrible. So pains and tremors and all kind of things happening to me, and then. Yeah, before I was taking the product, that was last year. Then I had a new lesion in my spine. And yeah, so my whole body, the feelings get distorted. So at that time, I almost couldn't walk. And I really had, yeah, if I wanted to wipe my butt, I couldn't feel it. You know, that's kind of sensation. So you don't know what you do. This the feeling was distorted. And yeah, so that was yeah very horrible. I was really scared doing things, you know, getting outside, and everything was very heavy to even think about doing something because I was so scared all the time that I couldn't do anything. You know, I was bedridden
Mm,
in the house, and no clear yeah the future was yeah a horrible idea to think about something that could lift me up or what else, you know. So I was really in need for something, and that's when I met Zeenat Said, who introduced me to some products. What else? Yeah, I started taking, and yeah, so
right, right.
from that moment,
So let's come on to that, right? So you were really inspired to try something different because you had to do something. You just couldn't
yeah,
let it keep
yeah,
going, right?
yeah, yeah,
So how did you meet Zeenat then? I mean, Zeenat's amazing, right? Isn't
yeah.
she?
She
Right.
is, yeah,
And of course she's had similar symptoms
yeah,
to what you had, and that's how she
true.
discovered it.
Yeah,
And for anyone watching this video as well, please do try and watch the video with Zeenat as well.
yeah,
There'll probably be a few because she'll probably talk about her brother. She'll probably talk about
yeah.
some of the other people in her life as well. But yeah, so yeah, what was it? How did you meet Zeenat, and what
Yeah,
was it that
so
connected?
Yeah, I met Zeenat through a friend of mine, Yolanda, and what you're talking about, I told her my story, and she right away had the need to help and tell her story of her brother and of herself, and that there was something that really helped her, to get through those challenges. And I was in the moment at that time, yeah, I really, my life wasn't worth anything, and I really was thinking of I could it's maybe better not to live at all, so it came at the right moment in time for me then, and she connected me, and I was really inspired and was so thrilled to try this because I really needed it at that moment. So
So can I just ask then, because so you mentioned that you were basically, you felt like life maybe even wasn't even worth living at all,
true.
which is a horrible place to get to.
Yeah.
And had you tried like h- what about the doctors, and what were they telling you at the time? And like, did you not like, were you not engaging with them?
Yeah, it's because like this there's not much they can do because there are kind of medications who help to not get the new lesions, but they have a lot of side effects, and I was so scared because everything what was happening with my body, I was scared even putting something in my body what could give me more strange sensation and all that side.
What made you think that what they would offer would do that? Is that because you had personal experience from taking things, taking pharmaceuticals, for example, before and then getting side effects? Had you experienced that before?
No, no, I was just scared to try it even. So because
Ah, okay. So you've just always been scared, just naturally you'd rather not take pharmaceuticals.
no, yeah, okay, I try to be natural as possible, and
Right.
I had a bit the belief like everything like chemicals you put in your body, yeah, the side effects can be very disturbing too. So I was scared of that at that moment because when I was 17, the things they had just they said, yeah, 1 in 3 shoots will not be there. So I thought, yeah, is it even good to try it then? Because yeah, it's just one. So I didn't have the feeling that it's really going to help me. If it was something that really would help me, then I would take the leap and I would try it. And even if I got the side effects at that moment, then yeah, I could choose it then. But there was nothing that gave me that feeling that it was
So you basically felt like the odds were not really that great
yeah,
with any of
right,
those, and
right,
and you could wind up with other kind of side effects.
yeah, right,
And so actually you'd rather try something. And it seems like you've just always been more interested in natural kind of things
yeah,
before. Okay,
yeah,
so had you tried other alternative, like natural, well, we call them alternative, but
yeah.
had you tried other, yeah, like
I did. Yeah,
natural
I
things?
did.
Yeah.
So I had the double vision, so I was looking through the internet, and when you got it's on 5 minutes, and then you see double for a minute, and then it goes like this, and so. But if you close one eye, you just can read further. So I was reading, and then I found a book from Terry Walls, and she had is a PhD in America, a doctor, and she got a progressive form of MS also, and she was in a wheelchair bound, and she changed her diet, and then she got herself out. So I thought, what she can do, I can do also. That was very hard, but I changed my diet. Didn't eat gluten, no dairy, no sugar, all that kind of things, and that really stopped the progression. And it helped me for a couple of years. But then yeah, what I said, my walking still, and it was hard to follow. So that's and when my walking got worse and the nerve pain also. So, but that was what I tried. And before that, before the other products, I was doing probiotics, enzymes, all that kind of stuff, and that helped also a little bit, But yeah, it was just a little bit. So
So you'd had good results changing your diet, and
yeah,
yeah, because I mean we're also going to talk about difficult barriers and challenges that you had to overcome,
mm,
to get access to, to actually take the product. But
yeah,
so you'd already tried like changing your diet, and you'd been investigating other people that had had similar symptoms, and
yeah.
then you'd met Zeenat. right?
Yeah,
Who'd
yeah,
had
yeah,
similar symptoms and got over
yeah,
it, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, amazing, amazing journey, mate. Honestly, like,
Thank you.
so good. And for any of the viewers watching this, you know, I'm sure that you can relate, and please do comment if you can relate as well. So yeah, tell us about, you know, how was it changing your diets? I mean, because you'd already had the experience of trying to change your diet, not much happened, you know, but the conditions getting worse. But you know, you got a little bit better by changing your diet. And then anyway, so through Yolanda, you meet Zeenat. And then what was it like? What were the barriers, and what made, you know, was there anything that made it hard to even get started in the first place, or to try in the
Sure.
first place?
Yeah, because the diet, changing your diet is very difficult. So I thought, yeah, you have to work for it. And taking some shakes, I was very skeptical. I thought, I don't believe this is going to work for me. But I was at that place that I had to change and try something. And yeah, so I'm so glad I did, because after that, yeah, taking that for 2 to 3 months, there really were changes. So yeah, so that was a real barrier. But I had nothing to lose, you know. So yeah, I had to do something, and I'm so glad I did, because yeah, it made the change that I hoped for. So yeah.
Right. So you know, so yeah, it was just basically, I don't think that the thing's gonna work, but you know, you know, you know, it can't get any worse, and I need to
Yeah,
do something
yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. And what about Xena herself? I mean, like presumably the results that she showed you, you know, with her and her brother and her family,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. That gives me a lot of inspiration to stick on it and to move on, to be consistent. You know, so that's very important to really do it the right way, and not just a little bit. If you want it to work, you have to go all in. And so through her stories, yeah, I was confident to really give it a really try. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, why shouldn't you, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, I had to do that, and I'm glad about it. So
Yeah, I mean, so for the viewers, you know, if you understand Xenat's story herself is really, really powerful, but her brother's story, who, you know, basically she had to teach him to walk again.
yeah,
And of course our products, you know, they were created originally by a guy to get himself out of a wheelchair, you
yeah,
know, so which is amazing. So okay, and thank you, Peter. Um, yeah, so the next thing then is, after you started on our product range, you know, like how long was it before you started noticing a result, and how do you think it compared to all the other things that you tried?
yeah. So I haven't said it already, but before I started the products, I was going through the hospital again, got MRIs, and they put me on a gabapentin that's for the pain. So it really messed my head up, and it didn't work. So that was yeah, the stupidest thing. But after the taking the shakes for 2.5 months, I think something like that, the pain was gone. And I thought, wow. So what I was struggling with, and what I was going for to the hospital for the medication, what was also chemical and side effects. So it just through some yeah, nutrition in a can, in a shake, it changed. And I was yeah, off my pain. So that was the real starting point of me feeling better again, because you can imagine, if you have pain every day, all day, you get so stressed about it. And if that's, yeah, so from that moment, everything got better.
Wow, and so that was after about 2.5 months, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And so just to recap for the viewer, so basically so you were on some brain chemistry altering, or
It's a
like
pain medication, was it? A pain medication.
oh right, oh, it was a pain medication.
Yeah, yeah,
What's it
yeah. And
called?
you had to take it 3 times a day, and it works out. So you have to be consistent taking it. But really, after 2.5 weeks, I said to my girlfriend I had to stop, because I was my head, everything. I was feeling so strange and not myself and depressed. And I thought, yeah, what the side effects could
Yeah,
be very
so
more.
right, so it really made so it was brain altering, like the
Yeah,
side
yeah, yeah,
effects
sure.
were
Yeah,
brain
it is.
altering,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
And
Yeah,
mood altering, and
yeah,
and as you said, you'd got to a point where you were feeling like it wasn't even worth continuing.
yeah, true.
So that's quite a scale of like massive depression, actually,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
And it even wasn't working because the pain was still there. So,
And it wasn't even working, like
yeah,
for the reason why you're taking it for. I mean, crazy, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think I don't know who prescribed that. Was that a psychiatrist or was it a doctor?
Yeah, it was a pain doctor. So,
A pain specialist,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
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 well, and they get paid, don't they? They get
yeah,
paid,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So and it wasn't taking the pain away. How interesting, right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
I find that very interesting.
yeah, yeah.
So okay, and then but anyway, so you tried the product. It took about 2.5 months before you started. Is that before you started feeling better, or did you start feeling better, a little bit better, which is why you kept taking it for 2.5
Yeah,
months?
sure. Yeah, I was having some results, but really, what I was telling before, at the moment I had a new lesion. So, and the lesion has, yeah, it's workaround. So it's not that the lesion was gone in 2 weeks or a month or something. The lesion was still there, and the feeling what I was talking about before, they weren't gone immediately. It had to build up, and yeah. So yeah, in a couple of months oh yeah, that's good to say it also. So in a couple of months, the walking was getting better. My feelings were getting back, so I feel my butt and everything. I feel it again. And yeah, then my nerve pain was gone. So yeah, shit, I wanted to say something, but oh yeah, yeah. So and I did an MRI in September. So I started in March last year, and last year September I did an MRI again, and the lesion that I had, yeah, was less than it was at the moment when I got it. So it also the lesion also got better, and
So
I can feel it in my body. So yeah, so that was clear for me. But
right. So the condition itself had got to a point where you're losing feeling in your butt and your bum, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
even like, like and I work with someone who has like, latter state the final stages of MS.
yeah,
I'm a care worker, right?
yeah.
So and he's basically fully paralyzed,
Oh wow, yeah,
um, and the way he describes MS as well is exactly as you say, you just kind of like don't have any awareness of your body,
yeah,
is where he's at the moment. So
yeah,
I totally understand.
yeah,
And although you weren't in a wheelchair, you were walking,
yeah,
that must have been kind of discombobulating or, for you to not kind of, to be walking, still mobile, but not really aware of your body,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That must be a very strange thing. But
yeah,
so you started on in about March 2023, and within about 2.5, 3 months, you noticed like a massive difference.
yeah.
And by September, when you had another MRI scan, the lesion had decreased.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
that's
So yeah,
yeah.
I had an MRI in yeah just before I started taking the shakes, and in September again. So yeah,
Okay. So here's the thing, right? Um, there's always going to be people that are going to say, well, how do you know it's not just a placebo effect? I mean, come on, Peter, it's a placebo effect, don't you think? Like, don't you think, like, really, truly, it's probably the pain specialist and the medications that they put you on? Don't you
yeah,
think it's just they just kicked in?
yeah.
Like, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah. No, yeah, medication the medications for the pain I stopped right away, so that isn't it. And yeah, if yeah, because of taking it consistently all the time, then it's gone. Yeah, if I would stop it again, yeah, it will come back a little bit maybe, but yeah, that's not what I'm going to do because now it's gone, and I'm so happy with it. So I believe. Yeah, you have to believe in something, and you have to try it and experience yourself, and you can be the judge of it. Everybody for
Okay.
yourself. Yeah.
So basically, you're believing your own experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And but yeah, so yeah, I mean, like, okay, cool, right. So
It's
I,
it's because it's not just the pain. It's more. It's the walking is better. I had next to the pain also tremors, and yeah, I don't know how you call it, but in the body it's all yeah, the nerves are
your body's a lot more solid.
yeah, yeah, it's better. It's getting
Yeah,
better. So I'm
and
feeling overall better. So not
yeah,
just the
and
pain,
less
but everything.
shaky, and your nervous
Yeah,
system is kind of calmed
yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I know in the case of my dad, you know, he's kind of in his 80s and he's not got Parkinson's, but he's very, very kind of shaky. But
Mhm.
as soon as he started taking the products, all of a sudden he's like a
Yeah.
lot more still.
We need good nutrition. That's it. So we lack the nutrition in our daily vegetables and our daily food. So I changed my diet. I tried my best, but if it's not there, yeah, then it's not there. So you need it at an yeah at an in a shake or something else to really restore the balance in your body with all the nutritions, all the minerals, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, and then
Yeah, and
and then your body does it itself. So it restores itself. With
absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for getting that one out there. And by the way, please, for the viewer, please do watch some of the other videos on my channel, which will explain some of that as well. Um, but so Peter, the such a great story, mate. Such a great story. And I do believe at one point you weren't wanting to continue with the product. So tell us a little bit about that. What was it? Why was it that you didn't want to continue, and what was it that brought you back?
yeah, it's yeah, yeah. I didn't want to continue because I thought what was happening in my body. True, now I know from the MRI it was the lesion that it was because of the product. So I thought, oh, there's something in it that is doing something to my body because prior to that I didn't have any lesions. But yeah, there were other things where a lot of stress from why I think the lesion.
Sorry, just pause. So if I understand correctly, uh, just before you started taking the product, you had the MRI scan. There was no lesion. You started taking the product. You got a lesion,
Yeah.
and then that worried you.
Yeah, yeah, and then I called Zeenat. I said, "I'm going to stop. You know, this is happening." Well, I didn't knew it about the lesion at that moment. That was just prior to that, and yeah, because of what was happening, I went to the hospital again, and they did an MRI again, and then they saw the new lesion on the MRI. So that I did an MRI in the 30th of January, and then I think the end of February, and in that time there was something, yeah, it's changed. So yeah, very strange still, but yeah, that was what.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
But so you called Zeenat
yeah.
and
So she connected me to Jason, and she really was yeah, encouraging me that it's not the product, and if I could go on, and I'm glad I did because yeah, through her yeah, me believing in her, I kept going and going and going, and after that things got better. And after that, yeah, even she said, step up, take one shake more. In a week, my pain was gone. So I'm so glad that I stick to it.
yeah, and like you know what, having yeah, like so just to explain, so you mentioned Jason as well. Jason is like the most he's like the biggest kind of leader within our team. And so you know, for the viewer, if you're gonna come with us, you might want to meet Jason as well. He's been with the company for about 18 years, and Zeenat herself maybe about 12 years. And Zeenat herself, she's actually been an alternative healer for about 30 years anyway. So she's very, very well accomplished, including having helped so many people, including Peter now
Yeah,
with MS.
yeah,
And a lot of the types of things that stump doctors, you know, fibromyalgia, you
yeah,
know, even cancer, you know, helping people to be, you know, have cancer but live with it pain free, you know, and Zenat's been really good at that for a lot of people. So I really totally encourage you, the viewer, if you are suffering from any of those types of conditions, you know, watch some of the other videos where people will talk about that. those conditions specifically, but you probably want to meet Zeenat at some point. So we'll make that happen. Just keep watching my videos and certainly watch the next video as well. I'll let you know at the end what to watch. Okay. So to take the next step. So, right, are you still taking the product, Peter? And if so, why?
Yeah, so yeah, to feel good, to yeah, aging healthy, and yeah, to yeah, not get pain again, you know. So yeah, so I'm also scared to get all the pains again, but they are gone. So yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing, and I think it will be okay. So
Oh, and when you say the pains are gone, are they like what? Get put a percentage on it. Like how much are they kind of gone?
totally gone, totally gone. Yeah,
100%.
100%.
100%, no pain.
Yeah, it's all gone. Yeah.
Right, amazing. Right. You know what? And what about your strength and your tremors and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so yeah, strength. I go to the gym 3 times a week, and so my strength in my upper body is very good. And yeah, so my right leg is a little bit behind, and also with the walking, and hopefully it will get better also. But yeah, no pain. So that's if you can walking, I would like to run and all that sort of thing. I cannot now, maybe in the future, but. Having pain every day is really worse than not able to run, you know. So I'm thankful.
So the pain is entirely gone,
Yeah,
but your body's still kind of like like the coordination is still a little bit, especially with the right legs a little bit behind. And
yeah,
I know that when we met in person when you came all the way to the UK, and I
yeah.
think that was was that the first time that you traveled abroad for a very long time or something? Yeah, tell us
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. And it was the first time after the lesion from the last year that I walked yeah, more than 10,000 steps. So it was a real great accomplishment. So
It
yeah,
was huge. Like, and I remember like meeting you, and yeah, you did have, you were kind of struggling with your hip,
yeah.
but but I believe it was such a huge deal. Like, I think you were worried that like, what happened if I fall and like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you, yeah, that's the thing, the balance, and if you, if I do a lot, then yeah, the balance is less. So yeah, at that moment, with all the walking through the airports and all the sort of things, I was really, yeah, at the, how do you say that, the place where, yeah, I've done a lot. So yeah, yeah. So that's then the yeah my how do you say it. The things I have to watch that I don't fall over. But I was okay. I was still walking after that, and the same night we went back. So yeah, I could do that also. So
Yeah, I mean it's huge, really. So you traveled all the way from Netherlands to
yeah,
UK and back in one day,
in one
and
day.
yeah, and like 10,000 steps in one day.
Yeah,
Honestly, I was so inspired by your story,
thank you.
and also before that as well, I'd heard about you like all of a sudden, like going camping,
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That was in the summer last year. So you can imagine in March I had the lesion, and then I think in June, yeah, June, July I went camping. So.
Just within like about 3 or 4 months. Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
so
Yeah.
that yeah, so good it was, and taking the shakes with me, and taking it every day consistently. So yeah, putting the right nutrition in my body so it can restore itself.
Wicked, wicked, wicked. Okay, okay. So, okay, right. So last couple of questions then. I mean, like, what would you say to people that are skeptical about the fact that you keep taking the product long term and the fact that I don't know, it seems to me like you're probably, I don't think there's any reason why you want to stop, but I mean, like, you tell us, right? What would you say to people?
Yeah, just try it out. What do you have to lose? That's it. So go for it. Try it for 3 months and let your body tell you if it's right for you or not.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
you will know. Then you
Yeah,
will.
and the fact is, most people do take supplements, don't they?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
how do you think our product compares with other, well, I guess other supplements, but I mean, other things that you tried?
Yeah, it's I think it's the synergy. So it's all yeah through the shakes, and it's all get yeah together. It works in synergy together. So that's easy. So you don't have to do this and that and think about it. You just take the shakes and it's done for you. So and it's really easy because you put the water in it and you shake it and you take it, and it's yeah, you don't have to bother about all the yeah the stuff around it. So yeah, yeah.
Mate, so good, so good. And you know what? So given that you started like, really, really depressed, really at a point where you were just kind of like, oh my gosh, and depressed on these drugs as well,
Yeah.
and almost to the point of like wanting to just end it all,
Yeah, yeah.
potentially, right? Um, but so, how do you feel? How's your mood now?
Yeah, so much better. I'm working again, and yeah, I really can dream about the future, and I'm so glad. Yeah, it's a transformation. Yeah, 180, 360% difference. Really, yeah. I'm back again. You know, I was gone, and now I'm getting back who who I used to be, and have joy and be happy and dream about things, all that sort of things. Yeah. That's amazing.
So amazing, like so inspirational. And
Yeah,
so any if you are struggling with multiple sclerosis, or actually, if you're struggling with any health condition, as Peter mentioned, right, and here's the thing: you don't know what you don't know until you know, right? And the fact is, anything that you put in your body, it goes all over your body. Okay, which is why, drugs can have side effects, because they don't just go to the head or just go to the lesion or just target the cholesterol or whatever. They go all over the body. And so they have effects all over the body, because it's just the way that food works, right? It gets it, food, it digests, it gets into your blood, the blood goes all around the body, the whole body gets everything, and it has effects. So if you have the right nutrition in your food, then you get the right nutrition in the body. If the body gets the right building blocks,
yeah,
right, and then it gets around the body and the body fixes itself. So it doesn't matter what condition you have, or how hopeless you feel right now, you can have a similar result as what Peter's just outlined for you. So, Peter, thank you so much. Do you have any final words before we leave this interview?
no, thank you for the interview, and you know, I hope it will help others too, as it helped me, and get joy back and be thankful for life again, and yeah, go for it.
Thank you so much, Peter. I hope we'll have you on again at some point
Yeah.
as well. All right. Take
Okay,
care. See
take
you
care. Bye
later.
bye.
Bye bye. How good was that interview? Now, if you're inspired by it, and if you know that there is somebody else in your life that really ought to watch this video, then please do forward it to them so that they can also be inspired by it, and so that they can benefit from the hope that they're going to be able to get from it. Okay. This is why I'm doing this channel, because I want to bring to you all this knowledge of people who have got over these incredibly debilitating conditions that, that normally people would just give up and think, well, that's actually just how my life's going to be now. People that have wheelchair conditions like MS, multiple sclerosis, or, fibromyalgia, or cancer, or psychiatric conditions even, or heart conditions, or diabetes, or eczema, or people suffering with long COVID right now. So many people suffering with long COVID right now. And in the case of my mum, she got over long COVID. That's how I know about this community of people and this product, that they've been using, because it's an amazing product as well. It's a 35-year-old company, and the product itself doesn't actually heal the body, but it contains the right nutrition for the body to heal itself. God has blessed us with a really beautiful physical body that, given the right building blocks and the right nutrition, basically it can detox and heal itself from pretty much anything, and the proof is in these interviews. So please do keep coming back and watch more interviews. And yes, and please do subscribe, because it really helps me to grow my channel as well. So I really appreciate it. I really want to help as many people as possible. I'm a care worker by day, and I see a lot of people with these types of conditions, but they're at the end of their lives, and I can't say a word because I'm representing a care company that has their own operating practices. But I feel so sorry for them because I know of something that could really help them. So please do, if you know people that have these conditions, let them know that there is hope, okay? If you want to find out more about our product and why it works, please click through to the video that is going to be linked here. Okay, so come back, watch more interviews. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.